welcome to Arise America. I'm Julian Phillips, in for Debbie Turner-Bell. In the news today, U.S. law enforcement agencies are preparing nationwide for the grand jury decision in the shooting death of Michael Brown, the FBI's latest warnings. Also, the U.S. Senate votes on whether to say yes to the Keystone Pipeline. President Barack Obama says he will veto it if it is approved. And Missouri Congressman Emanuel Cleaver speaks candidly with Debbie Turner-Bell about the police handling of the Michael Brown shooting. Of course, we'll have all that and much, much more right now on Arise America.
From coast to coast, every culture, every angle. This is Arise America.
Welcome to the latest edition of Arise America. In a closely watched U.S. Senate vote, lawmakers are debating whether to approve the controversial Keystone XL oil pipeline project. The Republican-dominated House of Representatives easily passed legislation approving construction of the pipeline last week. But supporters in the Senate are facing strong opposition. Democrats are divided on this issue.
It will signal a great sign that America understands that energy independence for our nation is possible for the first time ever. And when I mean energy independence, I mean energy independence for the North American continent.
It is not a good thing for this country. It is not a good thing for jobs. It is not a good thing for energy independence because it's going to be exported, all that oil, and it's actually dangerous. In my case, I was thinking, what does XL stand for? They named it the Keystone XL. It has no meaning, but to me, it's extra lethal.
That's right. Quite a debate, of course, in the House and the Senate. And, of course, that vote is going on right now. Now, for a closer look at the issues surrounding the pipeline, we turn to Chad Brownstein, who's an energy expert and the CEO of Rocky Mountain Resources. He joins us from Los Angeles. And in San Francisco, our guest is Michael Bosse. He's the Deputy National Program Director for the Sierra Club, the largest environmental organization in America. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you to Arise America. Chad, I want to start with you. A lot of hoopla over this particular pipeline here, but primarily right now it's just diverting and shortening up the pipeline down to the Gulf. So I guess, what's the big deal about all this?
So the big deal is that energy independence changes the forecast of this country's economy for the next 50 years. And with only a quarter of the pipeline, as you made so clear, left to complete, to me it makes a lot of sense, particularly with 5 very strong EISs completed, that the environmental impact is minimal. This is a must-get done for the United States.
Chad, I would say that those who would say that on the opposite side of this, that the oil sands that are coming from Canada are highly corrosive, and they say they could cause a lot of environmental damage, most likely going over the areas where you want to put this pipeline here. There's seismic activity there, and they're saying that could be very dangerous. What's your response to that?
Look, we've had the oil business in this country for 200 years. There are millions of miles of pipeline around the world. The U.S. has had meaningful pipeline without problems, and this is 36-inch in diameter reinforced steel with highly focused engineering that will deliver a very safe product down to the Gulf. This is a no-brainer for the United States.
Chad, we've lost Michael Bosse, unfortunately, so we have him back now. Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You know, I've got to ask you the same question, and Chad was challenging that in terms of the environmental impact you think that the diversion of this pipeline would have to the environment.
So tar sands oil is amongst the most dirty and climate-disrupting oil on the planet. So by stopping this pipeline, we're keeping more of that oil in the ground, and that has significant climate benefits.
Do you think, though, with the safety record that has existed so far, that will hold weight in terms of what we've already witnessed?
Well, the original Keystone Pipeline has spilled a number of times. We don't think this is a safe pipeline. If you think about what a tar sands pipeline is, it's a pipeline that's heated to more than 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It carries not fluid oil, but bitumen, thick, sticky, corrosive material that, if it spills on a watercourse, is extremely difficult to clean up. And where there have been spills in the past, the cleanups for those have been incredibly expensive and have taken many, many years.
Chad, I'd like you to counter that.
Well, he's absolutely right. Technically, all those facts are correct. And the reality is that we now have the technology to ensure safe delivery of this. Ultimately, if this doesn't get passed, guess what happens? The United States has got 1,400 rail cars working. It's got barges. Canada's pushing this stuff to China. What do you think the carbon footprint of that is? Absolutely environmentalists, and particularly this smart Sierra Club leader, has the right information related to what happens when there are problems. But I'm totally convinced that we have the engineers in this country to engage in this process so there's minimal issues, and the long-term benefit will far outpace the risks.
Well, Chad, I want to talk money here also. You're talking about the amount of jobs that this construction will take, and not only just in construction jobs as well as manufacturing. The numbers are kind of astounding, as high as maybe 40,000. I'm hearing 20,000 jobs. But on the other hand, I'm hearing that might not be the case.
Well, you're talking about 40,000 temporary jobs. Let's talk about over the next 10 years, there's 3 million jobs that will be created due to the advanced drilling that takes place in the United States because of this pipeline. This is the future of the United States economy. We all need to deal with it. It's the reality. We need energy independence. We need energy independence to defend our country. We need to be very smart environmentally. I completely agree with their side of the equation. But this is the #1 job driver for this economy. And for the next 25 years, this needs to be our focus.
All right, Michael, I want to end with you. You're going to have the last word on this. In terms of the economy yourself, sustainable jobs, some say, will provide much more than this pipeline will ever provide. Elaborate on that, if you would, please.
Certainly, in the last quarter, there were almost 20,000 jobs provided through clean energy. So clean energy is the ultimate in both energy security and future sustainable jobs in this country. Clean energy jobs are good jobs, they are middle-class jobs, and they're jobs that ultimately allow people to put the form of production of energy into their own hands. What could be more secure than powering your house with solar panels on your roof?
All right, that'll have to be the last word. Gentlemen, Chad, we've got to go. We've run out of time, but I'm sure that we'll talk more about this in the ensuing days. Thank you guys much.
I agree with that.